It's coming. Football's coming.
We'll go on getting back. I'm getting back. I'm getting back.
It's coming. Football's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Football's
I think that's enough. Copyright. But yeah, let's go to the intro.
Brilliant intro. We're going to do that until we win an international tournament. But welcome everybody to All Things Football. We're going to be talking about the European Championships and the quarterfinals, which saw England beat. I'm gonna have to stop myself from smiling. I was getting excited now. We saw England beat Ukraine 4-0, which is our biggest knockout victory in a major tournament, I think, since 1966. I think, which is obviously the stars are aligning here. We saw Italy beat Belgium. I'm too excited for this. Italy beat Belgium. Spain beat. I can't even remember who Spain beat. Who did Spain beat? Switzerland. Spain beat Switzerland, and of course, Denmark beat the Czech Republic. A game which I thought the Czech Republic would win before it started, but unfortunately they didn't. But I think there's only one place to start. You've got your England top on. I don't. But 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0.
I'm not getting an English shirt. I'm getting a Jamaican shirt for next year. It's an amazing result. I think the win was inevitable. I think we can start by saying that. I don't think Ukraine posed enough of a threat from what we've seen throughout the tournament to disturb England's peace. But 4-0, I didn't see that coming. I thought it would be a 1, maybe 2, but we just turned it on. And at the same time, I don't think we ever got into top gear, which is something which I think we can take into the next game and draw positives from, because yes, Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips started as expected, but when they came off and Bellingham and Henderson came on, not at the same time, nothing changed. It was almost perfect. We didn't exert too much energy, and we rotated the squad. Sancho started as well. Rashford came on. It was amazing.
Yeah, like the likes of Grealish, Foden, they didn't even come on. That's how good we were. We didn't need to bring on those players. We can rest them for the semis or potentially the final. But yeah, it was a brilliant performance. It felt like a training game, to be honest, because the first goal came in the first 4 minutes of the game. Harry Kane, assisted by Raheem Sterling, the hero. And yeah, it got us off and running. And then from then on, was it 1-0 at half time?
I believe so, yes. Harry Maguire opened, got the second in
Harry Maguire literally got the second 1 minute into the second half.
I just want to pause you. I'm going to pause you right there. Harry Maguire, I have a bone to pick with you. You can score goals like that for England. Get your head on net, bullet header in the back of the net. But when it comes to Manchester United now, and he wants to get winner header in the box, and it's 50p head and all of that stuff. I'm happy he scored for England, but just keep it going until next season. Come on.
But yeah, Roberto Carlos, as they call him, with a brilliant cross, and as you said, Maguire the snub head, headed it in 2-0. And then from then on, it was literally just a training game.
Yeah.
It just felt like a training game. Ukraine had no threat, and Shaw got another assist for Harry Kane, another header, and from then on, I don't know what to say. It was just easy.
I think jitters were quickly squashed when Harry Kane opened the scoring early on. I think the longer the game, especially in tournament football, it doesn't matter if you're England or you're Barcelona or you're Spain or 2010, the longer the game goes on, the more nervous you get, because the reality of it is, if you can see the goal in the 89th minute, no matter how good you are, you're probably going to lose. The earlier you score, the better. Some say you can score too early, but I think once we got that first goal, everything was just so calm and composed. Apart from one mistake from Kyle Walker, which saw Yaremchuk.
Of course, it had to be Kyle Walker of all people. He literally just has a mistake in him every game, and you know it's going to be him.
I would still start with Reece James, but I think it's just nerves, because it's a simple pass. It's nothing other than we need to. I feel like people try too hard to be calm, and I think that pass was a perfect example of he's just trying a bit too hard to stay composed. Just play your normal game. I think it's so easy to overthink everything you do when you get to to a major tournament in the latter stages of it. And I think after he got that mistake out of him, which I think sounds weird, but it was important to get it out early on. It's better early on than later on in the game, if you know what I mean. So I think that was England's mistake. And I think after that, it was just, we've done it now. We've made the mistake. We've had our heart come out of our chest. We've actually scored. We're 1-0 up. Let's just get to halftime, settle down a little bit, and just start the second half exactly the same way we started the first half. And it's not just England, it's also on Ukraine's part as well. Once Harry Maguire scored that goal, you could see they were deflated. And when I say it just because I was looking at their goalkeeper when they conceded the goals. Think about it. Think about another team, when a team that can come back. Manchester United can see the goal. The goalkeeper doesn't sit on the floor with his head in his knees and his hands on his knees as well. But that's what the Ukraine keeper was doing. I feel like he knew that the game was just over. It was finished, and it was a good sign for us, not a good sign for Ukraine. And fortunately, we were able to keep it at the same level the whole match, because as I said, we were never in top gear. So it's not like we were 100% from minute 1 to 90. We're probably at 66-70% for the game. So we're able to keep it a steady performance, which I think was brilliant from the team.
And it's great that we can conserve energy, because now we're going into our biggest game so far at home. So I guess we'd even have even more energy with the home support. So that's even more of not having an excuse to perform.
60,000.
60,000, they've increased it by 20,000 from the previous game. So I think England should do well against Denmark. I feel like it will be a win just because of the home support, the way we've been playing. As you just said, 60% maybe effort was put into that game, or not even 100%. So imagine 100%. Imagine Foden coming off the bench, or Grealish coming off the bench. Sancho, we still have Saka, who wasn't even in the team. So the squad depth, I want to talk about Sancho, because obviously, if you don't know, Sancho just signed for Man United this week. Brand new player, replacing Dan James. Unfortunately, Dan James, not good enough. And he needs to be sold. He needs to be sold.
Brighton are in for him, actually.
Yeah, so. Brighton, take him, please, take him. But yeah, Dan James gone, Sancho in, and I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see him in that shirt. Can't wait.
Sancho. You know what it is? It's pending a medical. We have to pray the medical goes well.
Of course it's going to go well. He's not going to fail medical.
Because at this point, you see how I said to everyone I speak to about the Euros, I don't want Rashford to play anymore. I need him to be rested, because our first pre-season game is 2 weeks from today or yesterday, I think. So at first I was a bit upset that Sancho wasn't representing England, because I do believe he is England's best winger. And especially now that he's actually signed for us, I just wanted to get rested, because we have the luxury of having, I would say everyone, no offense to Calvert-Lewin, but I don't think he's at the top level. But I think everybody in our attacking lineup is just well up there. It can rotate, and you still have a star-studded front three. I saw it on Twitter earlier, and it made me think anybody could start in that front three for England, and you're still looking at world-class quality. Sterling gets dropped, to bring Rashford in. Kane's not going to get dropped. You take out Sancho, you put in Saka or Foden or even Mount on the right, or Grealish. Forgot about Grealish. You got world-class or just at that level of talent, and I think is actually amazing. So if Sancho doesn't start the semi-final, boohoo, because we're still going to win it.
Yeah,
I see them well rested.
If he starts or not.
Yeah,
but what he does offer is the pace. Like, he changes the pattern of play, the tempo of play. When he gets the ball, he will either play it in one touch to someone else and just play 1-2s around players, or he'll just take on the man, beat a man, maybe get across into the box, or assist someone. So actually, his game, I think, is the best. He's obviously the best winger we have after Sterling, or with Sterling. To be honest.
I think he's better than Sterling as an actual winger. He's better than Sterling. Even as a goal scorer, he scores more goals than Sterling. I just think he's a better player than Sterling. Technically, I think he's better. I think he makes better decisions when it comes to playing balls through. When he's in the final third, I think he looks to help other players out. He's not always looking for the back of the net, which as a striker / attacking winger, I think it's good to be selfish. But Sancho is is lucky enough to have the talent to not be selfish, but still find himself in places where he can still get 15 goals a season, as well as 20 assists. So I think that's why I think Sancho's the better winger.
Yeah, but you mentioned Rashford. I don't think Rashford's even good enough to start for this England squad. Well, he obviously hasn't started a single game.
I think
I
he
don't
is.
think not right now.
I think he is.
Not right
The
now.
thing is,
injuries.
The thing that confuses me, kind of annoys me when it comes to Rashford. You're a Man United fan. You watch him every week. I watch him every week. If you don't support Man United, you're probably not going to watch him every week. Because we have someone like Bruno Fernandes in that Manchester United team and he gets loads of penalties, I think people associate Rashford's stats with Bruno's stats. Bruno takes penalties. Bruno takes set pieces. Rashford's getting 20 plus goals a season. I want to say 15 or something assists last season. Over 35 goal contributions. I think that might be the season before. I hope I'm not completely wrong there. But when Rashford gets goals and assists and goal contributions, that's just a sign of the quality of player he is. If Rashford started the tournament ahead of Raheem Sterling, nothing about Rashford's season is going against me saying now that he could have more than Sterling's goals. He could have more goals and assists than Sterling in this tournament. It just so happens that Sterling has started the tournament and played very well because maybe he's better suited for international football. I don't know. But if Rashford were to start the tournament, what's to say that he's not going to get 5 goals by now? Because Raheem Sterling's missed a couple of chances. Rashford might have put them away. So I think Marcus Rashford is more than good enough to start for this England side. Say Sterling picks up an injury tomorrow. I don't think Grealish or Foden comes into his position because of the pace and the type of player Raheem Sterling is and the similarities that you can draw from Rashford's game. I think Rashford comes in to replace Sterling if he gets injured. And I think he'll do a more than good enough job.
Yeah.
Because Sterling hasn't been dropped. He started every game.
Yeah.
Because of the game, because of the type of play he brings to the team, the pace and the direct type of play. That's Rashford in a nutshell. The pace and direct play. He's gonna get shots off. He's gonna get assists. Sterling gets injured, then Rashford comes in, I think.
But yeah, as we said with the squad depth, to be honest, I couldn't really care who he plays. As I said, we have Grealish, Rashford, Foden, Mount. So if Sterling wasn't to play, I wouldn't even care who he plays because I know we still perform, and that's how good this England squad is. Even Southgate said it at the end of the game. It's not just the players on the pitch; it's the 23, it's the squad. It's Sam Johnston, it's whoever else, just pushing everyone to get to their best. Like it's the whole team. It's the whole team, and I think that is why it's coming home. That's why it's coming home.
It's always coming home. I think we have to. You mentioned Sam Johnson. Of course, he's a keeper. Don't really think he's competing with Pickford for the number 1 spot because he looks pretty cemented now. But what a tournament he's having! Hasn't conceded a goal so far, and although the defense has been playing quite well, Pickford has pulled off a few good saves. One springs to mind: the save against save against Germany from a Havertz shot. I think that it's such a massive boost to go this far into it. You're in the semi-finals now and you still haven't conceded a goal. And it doesn't look like... It's
moving right now.
The more confident the keeper is, the more confident the back four is. If you're confident in your back four, the midfielders in front, they can do their job. I don't have to focus as much on helping them. I can focus on my job, progressing the ball, then the attack. It's just... I think everything stems from the back line. And I think that's why the England team are playing with such confidence, because you know that you're not going to be conceding, and you know that you have world-class attackers in the
goals.
Yeah,
Harry Kane will score goals. Raheem Sterling will score goals. Sancho will assist. So it's just it all flows.
Yeah,
it's just perfect. The dynamic in the squad is perfect. You have Maguire and Stones, solid centre-back partnership. You have Luke Shaw, Gilberto Carlos on the left, and then you have Kyle Walker on the right. I think it all works.
It works in unison, and I think it goes further than just a training. I think it even goes to the YouTube channel. You have I don't know about you, but I like to watch the England when they go into like when they turn up in the cars and stuff.
Yeah, I watch. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't know what satisfaction I get from it, but it's just
Mm.
it's an overwhelming sense of this makes me feel good. And I don't know about the other international teams, but for me, from what I have not seen, I guess they seem to keep their stuff way more hidden and private. But I think this all-inclusiveness of getting the fans involved, getting the rest of the country involved. You're hearing, I work in a club. I don't work in JD, by the way. I work in a club, and every hour or something, it's coming home comes on, and I've never heard such noise. I worked during the
You must get
England
like
versus
goosebumps as
Ukraine.
well. Like, when you hear
Yeah, it's goosebumps. Everyone is involved. I'm seeing obviously not underage people, but 18-year-olds all the way up to 70-year-olds. I worked during the Ukraine match. I've never ever heard cheers. So I've been at Old Trafford when we score. I promise you now, in a bar, in a sports, I used to work at JD, in a sports bar, there's probably a couple hundred people there on the top floor. When we score the first goal, I've never heard a noise like that. When we score the fourth goal, I still never heard a noise like that.
Mm.
And I think it all goes down to the interviews that get put out on a daily basis, the videos of them just in a swimming pool. It's just the fans feeling
feel like you can
they're
relate.
connected.
They
Yeah.
feel like with those videos, they're showing that the players are normal. They're showing that they're not something that's so far away that you can't really touch it or something.
You
like
feel a
you're
part of it.
Yeah.
And I think it just goes back and forth. Social media, the players are on social media. Rashford commenting yes to the Sancho thing, and then all the quote tweets, all the retweets, all the DMs they're gonna get, all the positive DMs that we're getting right now. Well, I say we, like I'm at the England camp, but all the positive DMs that the England players will be receiving from fans. I think it just goes back and forth. Good performances, happy fans, happy country. Southgate is loving it. The players are loving it. I think everything is just so perfect at the moment. I think it's actually the perfect time for it to come home.
Yeah, Jeremiah says, Southgate, you're the one. You still turn me on football. Coming home again.
The amount of times I've heard that. Oh gosh.
There's so many things. I want to talk about Luke Shaw though. 2 assists. I think he's the second in the assist list at the Euros currently.
2.
He's 1 or 2 away.
Who is the top?
I think it's Zuba.
Yeah, Zuba.
Zuba's top. So he probably should overtake him. But Luke Shaw, best left back in the world at the moment, and
it's so important to say at the moment.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Liverpool fans are getting a bit upset about that.
At the moment, yeah. You can say, I don't even know if you can say, I think you can still say, if he wins the Euros, you should say he's the best left back.
Yeah. He just
is at the moment.
I think, forget the Euros. Even if he wasn't at the Euros, he'd still be the best at the moment because of what he was doing last season. I'm so glad that he was able to take his club form into the international tournament, because obviously you have, when you play for Manchester United, when you represent Manchester United, regardless of whether you play well or bad, you're going to have haters because of the magnitude of the club. But because of what Luke Shaw's been through, his injury set him back in terms of it. Let's face it, when he came back from his injury, he just wasn't good. You could tell he wasn't there mentally in terms of he didn't look brave. Yeah, a lot of things went against him, but over the past couple of years, he's slowly been building himself back up, and I think now he's at the level that he was when we bought him. When we bought him as an 18-year-old, I couldn't think of too many better left backs than him at that time. And now I think he's back there, and I think he's progressing. Maybe he might reach his potential, his full potential. And because he's doing it for England now, a lot of the people that were doubting him and just hating on him because he plays for Manchester United, they're coming to realize, oh wow, like Manchester United fans weren't talking rubbish. This Luke Shaw guy is actually really, really good.
He's still so young. Like he can still play for Man U and England for the next 5 to 7 years.
I'm saying 8, 9.
He's 25 years old. He's still young. He seems older, but just because he's a senior member, he's matured. And
because he burst on the scene so young.
Yeah, he's still got a long way to go.
Yeah. And I think one thing we need to talk about the England squad. I know we're talking all positive, happy stuff and things like that, but there's one problem I have with this England team, and it's the midfield, in particular Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips.
Why is that?
There's not enough progression. There's not enough progression in terms of taking the ball on the half turn and actually passing it straight forward. For me, when Henderson came on and Bellingham came on, that is the partnership that I wanted to see start. They're not going to start together because Henderson's kind of just come back from injury and Bellingham doesn't seem to be ahead of Rice or Phillips. But when you have those two on the pitch, you have ball progression at its finest. You have a box-to-box midfielder with an 18-year-old Bellingham who right now, like literally right now, not the past 2 years, not the past 5 months, but right this second in the Euros, in the England squad, there's not a better box-to-box midfielder than Bellingham. I think Bellingham has to start against Denmark. I think we're going to play a tiny bit of a weaker side because I think we're going to play when I say a weaker side, I don't mean like you start Mings and White. I think when I say that, Bellingham might start, Henderson might start, Foden might start over Sancho. That's when I say the tiny bit of a weaker side because those guys haven't started much or at all in this tournament. But I think they will come in for the Denmark game. I think they will.
I doubt you'll start Henderson and Bellingham. I know
did I say Andor?
Andor.
I meant to say Andor.
Just change up the midfield like that going into a semi-final. And
it will be risky. But when they've played together, they played together in the quarterfinals. I'm not saying both of them are going to start together. I'm saying Henderson might come in.
I think they'll come on later in the game.
I think one of them will start. I just have that feeling.
Foden hasn't played in 2 games, so that could also be a risk starting Foden. So
it was in a way risky starting Sancho. Then I think
that's true. It was Ukraine.
I just don't think
I do get what you mean that we could rotate it a bit.
Yeah, because I know all footballers and managers are like, we're not looking forward. We're only looking for the next game. They're going to be pretty confident. They know who they are. Southgate knows what he has at his disposal, and he knows that player for player, we're better than Denmark. The only person maybe might be Kasper Schmeichel in terms of who's better individually in each position. But the England players and manager will be very confident of getting to the final. So that's why I think Henderson might come in. I'd say Henderson over Bellingham because of his experience, and I think he is the better player anyway. I think Henderson might come in.
I'm pretty sure we recently played Denmark in
we lost
League, and we lost 1-0.
We lost 1-0. Christian Eriksen penalty. It wasn't a penalty in the first place, but
that was at home, wasn't it?
They're a weaker side now, and we are by a bit of a distance, I think, a stronger side. I'd have to say that quite comfortably. We're a better side than we were a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it will be a good game.
If he does make the changes and they pay off, then he has a wonderful headache for the final. Does Rice? If he makes the changes that I made, Foden might come in for Sancho or whatever. Henderson might come in for, I'd say, Rice or Phillips, probably Phillips. Do you stick with that team for the final, or do you go back to Rice and Phillips? Rice is now rested for the final. You know, I just think
that's the dilemma. I think, to be honest, I don't really mind about the team selection because I'm confident in all the players who are in that squad. So if it was Henderson and Bellingham to start, I wouldn't mind. I really wouldn't mind. As long as, and I've seen that Southgate knows how to make changes. He's not like Ollie. So yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Ollie,
Denmark,
I hope you're watching.
Denmark beat Czech Republic 2-1. Delaney and who was it? Delaney and Dolberg.
Great cross from Mailer.
That was a great assist outside of the boot.
We do love a Trivela pass.
Yeah.
And it was a composed finish. Dolberg's kind of come back in from the cold because when he was at Ajax a few years ago, he was like the one that was meant to be
I remember
the great one. Yeah, you see how Haaland kind of came about? That's what Dolberg was for about 6 or 7 months. And then whatever, I don't know if he got injured, but I feel like he got injured. And when he came back at Ajax, he wasn't really playing very well. Moved to Nice, and he's kind of just now just a normal striker. And I feel like maybe we're seeing a little bit of what he can do because he scored in the previous game as well, I believe, against I want to say Wales.
No, that might have been Damsgaard.
Nah, I know that isn't Dolberg's first goal. That can't be Dolberg's first goal.
No, he scored 3 goals.
Kasper Dolberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he scored against someone else, and it was like he started, but I don't think anybody expected him to start, and then he scored. I don't know. I can't remember who the match was against, but yeah, he's a threat. He let me slow it down a little bit. He's a threat. His movement is good, and he's always been a good finisher. But I think it all goes down to that cross that Joachim Mæhle put in the box for him. It was the most perfect cross I've seen in a very long time with the outside of his foot, which is it's obviously a different technique, a more difficult technique to pull off.
Yeah, and Delaney, the centre mid, he's also very he actually pulls the strings in that Denmark team. He even arrives late into the box, so that's how he scores most of his goals. He scored this tournament. I think he's only scored 1, but he has obviously played a lot of minutes, and he's one of their key players. So I think apart from him and Højbjerg in midfield I think that's a good midfield. However, they play 3 at the back. So do you think Southgate would want to match their formation again, just like what we did against Germany?
I was thinking about that.
Do you think we stay with the 4-3-3?
You know what?
Could get overrun. I don't know. Out wide.
I think Germany's a bit of a different opposition than Denmark. Germany isn't just that one match. That match against Germany is 50 years worth of football against Germany in terms of in the head. And let's face it, Kimmich and Gosens are better than what Denmark have in their wing-back positions. And I think that in the back of Southgate's mind, in the Germany match, he's thinking, I've got to deal with a world-class Kimmich, one of the best players in the world, dictate and play from the right. So we have to cancel those guys out. I think against Denmark, you can set up with a 4 at the back, 4-2-3-1 now that Mount's back. And I think we can play our game instead of having to prevent Germany from scoring. And I think that might be a reason why he sticks with the 4 at the back. If he goes to 3 at the back, I'm not against it because it worked against Germany and it should work against Denmark. But if he goes to that 3 at the back, before I say that, I just quickly said it through my head. If he goes to the 3 at the back and loses, everyone kills him. If he doesn't go to the 3 at the back and loses, everyone kills him because then it's, why didn't you go to the 3 at the back?
But I don't think he's worried about that. He's really not worried about that. I don't think. Whatever decision he makes, I feel like everyone will be behind him.
Yeah. I think he's earned it now. He's earned it now. Before, maybe the World Cup, the decisions he was making in terms of team selection, players he bought, it was, why is he doing this? This guy's just clueless. And I think now that he's learned international football better, not under 21 international football, because that's way, way different. Now that he's learned senior international football better than youth and club football, I think he's making decisions that are better suited for tournaments and qualifiers and stuff like that. I think his team selection so far they've obviously been very good because we haven't lost or conceded. But I think everything he does now, fans, pundits even, they're just backing him because what leg do they have to stand on going against him? If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So whatever decision he makes, unless it's a ludicrous decision like you play Sancho at left back or something, unless it's something like that, you have to back what he does now because he's taken us places we haven't been in a long time.
Yeah.
Like a really, really long time.
But yeah, Denmark, we have to be wary of their striker, Martin Braithwaite, the Barcelona man. This guy is deadly. I've heard that he benches Messi. No, I'm just too confident. I think it's going to be 2-0 win to England and we get to the final.
What did you predict for the Ukraine match?
I said 3.
That means the scoreline's gonna finish up 3-0. I'd just add 1 goal onto whatever Ibs predicts, and that's the correct scoreline. I don't think we're not going to concede. I'll put my house on that we're not going to concede a goal. I can't see. We've played against Werner, we played against Havertz, Thomas Müller, played against Yaremchuk, Yarmolenko. Who do we have in the group? Played against Shea Adams.
Schick as well.
Yeah, we played against all of these strikers who have scored goals, and our defense even better now with Maguire and Stones. Maguire seemingly back to full fitness. I'd think.
Yeah,
with the best left back in the world at the moment, we've got John Stones and Walker. Walker has a mistake in him, but he is quite a good defender, and John Stones is there as well. I can't see Braithwaite or even Poulsen. I don't know if Poulsen didn't start the last game.
No, he didn't start, but he came on.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to start, Dolberg or Poulsen, but Braithwaite will definitely be there. I can't see any of them breaching Pickford's net, and I'm confident. Italy in the final, yeah, definitely, 100%. Italy in the final.
Okay, well, let's move on to that. Let's move on to that side of the tree. So it was Spain. They beat Switzerland on pens. Switzerland did well to get back, despite having 10 men.
Yeah,
on the pitch. However, all they needed to do was literally just score their pens. They had one job to score, place it in the corner. You had 10 men.
France fans,
you just crumbled.
France fans are moving mad. Scored all of theirs against the French, but when it comes to Spain, you got. I really feel sorry for Ruben Vargas. Yeah,
Vargas.
You know what it is? He's not even young. He's like 22, 23. He just looks really young.
He's so young.
Yeah, he looks like 17, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's because of the trim and lack of facial hair, but yeah, I feel sorry for him. Mainly because he just missed. Like his was over the bar. Like I feel like if your penalty gets saved with a good save, it's But when you miss the goal
completely,
I can't. It's unforgivable.
When you can literally just put it. If you're really unsure where to go, just go middle.
Yeah.
Don't try to put it top bins. Don't try that.
The keepers are gonna dive. Keepers
will dive. Just
if the keeper doesn't dive, I know that. Made me thought about De Gea. If the keeper doesn't, just brought back flashbacks. Oh my gosh! If the keeper doesn't dive, then I feel like, and you go down the middle,
it's unlucky.
That is just really unlucky.
That's a bad pen then.
Yeah, it's just the Swiss after after Busquets missed the opening one. I think maybe that got into their head. Maybe they're thinking, "Oh my gosh!"
Definitely got into their heads.
Yeah.
The Spanish team just remained composed. Yes, Busquets missed it, but everyone else was composed.
It was. I think it was a very good shootout from the Spanish, apart from Busquets, obviously. No, who missed Rodri missed as well. Rodri missed the penalty for Spain. Sommer
3-1 on pens.
Sommer had a great match, and I think after we finish talking about penalties, we have to talk about Jan Sommer because. I'll say because afterwards. But yeah, I think Switzerland, the early miss from Busquets, I think it did a number on them because of the last match against France. But also we have to think about fatigue. You've definitely taken penalties before. I've taken penalties before, whether it's just for fun or whether you're in an actual match. If you go to the park and take penalties, that's the first thing you do. Guarantee you score all of them. Play football for 2 hours. Play football for 3 days in a row, a couple of hours every day. At the end of whatever you do and try and take those penalties, you can't. It's so different. Switzerland played 120 minutes, 2 matches in a row, both ending in penalty shootouts. Yeah, that 100%. It would have done something to them, and I think that might have contributed to their terrible penalties actually. But yeah,
Unai Simon as well made some good saves for Spain. He's benching De Gea, by the way. So
is Henderson, man. So is Henderson. I think time's up for De Gea. But anyway,
he's gonna leave. But
enough about United.
Sommer. You wanted to mention Sommer. What a keeper.
I'm gonna look at the camera for this. The Bundesliga tax. I don't know what people watch when they talk about the Bundesliga, but it's not a pub league. We've got Jan Sommer surprising everyone at this tournament when with the amount of saves he's making and the quality of saves he's
Watch the
making.
Bundesliga to see him.
People, I don't. That's what I mean. I don't know what people watch. Jan Sommer's been a good keeper. He's been one of the best keepers in Europe for at least 4 or 5 years. And even if you don't watch football at all, even if you just play FIFA, he has a high rating on FIFA. I'm not saying that's justification for a good player, but even if you don't watch football, surely that's an indication to you that says, maybe Jan Sommer's actually a good keeper. Everyone's surprised. Everyone's like, wow, who is this Jan Sommer guy? He's not young. He's old-ish for a keeper. He's been doing this for years. He's been doing it for Switzerland at the World Cup. He's even keeping out Dortmund's keeper, Roman Bürki, who a lot of people will know because he plays for Dortmund. You're looking at Jadon Sancho. He was getting trashed on. He wasn't playing games. People were saying, oh, we got these and that. We got Saka, we've got Foden. Sancho is better than these players. But now that he plays for Manchester United,
he's playing.
You're looking at the Austria team, 8 of the Austria team that made it into the knockout rounds of the tournament. 8 of them start for Bundesliga sides. It's not a coincidence that Bundesliga players are playing very, very well at the Euros. I think Sancho's maybe the main example of the Bundesliga tax and what people don't understand about foreign football. Maybe they just focus on Premier League football, but I know it's something that's annoyed me a lot listening to pundits especially.
They just don't know about the Bundesliga. They don't watch it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So they just have these thoughts about the Bundesliga, which is completely not true. Because you have players, as you said, Sancho, Lewandowski, Sommer, plays for Mönchengladbach. So it's so many players.
I think it's just a lack of education, a lack of members' resources going into your job, going into your punditry job, your commentary job, and thinking, wow, I didn't know someone could pull off this many saves of this quality. He does it week in, week out for Mönchengladbach. But yeah, that's my piece on somewhere in the Bundesliga. It was really, really annoying me, actually. Yes.
But yeah, we'll move on to Belgium, Italy. Really a game worthy of being the final, but unfortunately it was only a quarterfinal, which Italy did come on top of, 2-1 winning. And Insigne, Barella, and Lukaku scored a pen. And Italy, literally, they was just too strong. I'm telling you, Italy, I don't want to see them in the final because we'd lose. If we face them in the final, I think we'll lose. Insigne, what's the goal?
He's been trying that for a few games now, and I'm happy it came off. I'm just upset it was against Belgium. I'd say he's their best player. I maybe I think he's their best attacker.
Yeah, their best attacker. Yeah, I say that.
But what I do want to say about Italy as a national team, I don't think they have the star power of a team like Belgium or Portugal or France or Germany. But what they do have is the best manager in the tournament. Roberto Mancini has absolutely transformed that Italy side from the side that didn't qualify for the last World Cup. And I think, yes, he managed at Manchester City. Maybe he didn't get the respect he deserved because it was Manchester City. But he is, I think, by far and away the best manager in the tournament. And he's taken a few relatively unknown players. Spinazzola, guarantee you nobody knew who he was before the tournament. Di Lorenzo, guarantee you nobody knew who he was before the tournament. Domenico Berardi, maybe a couple of years ago, he had a couple of injuries, set him back a bit. But Belotti,
captain.
I knew about him, to be fair.
I mean, he's the captain of like that team. And
we were linked to him a few years ago. Arsenal have been linked with him a couple of times. Don't know if they're in the last window, but he's taken Locatelli as well. Pessina. Obviously, we know about Jorginho. We should know about Nicolo Barella. At least I do. He's taken a lot of players who aren't household names and transformed them into a team that are by far and away the favourites for the Euros now. Taken them into a team that haven't lost in well over, I want to say, a couple of years.
Yeah, I think
maybe it's 18 months or something like that.
Yeah, quite a lot of games.
But this Italian team is scary.
It's the fact that they're not necessarily the best players, all of them in their positions.
Mm.
However, the way he's got them working as a team, as a unit, they all work hard, they all work together, and that is what makes a great team. You don't have to have standout names in your team all the
Yeah,
time, but the
yeah,
fact that they have these players who are willing to work and to work in the system that Mancini has got them playing in, and they're just thriving in that system.
yeah. And they have, I think, the best spine of the Euros. You've got the two best the best defensive partnership in Bonucci and Chiellini. I've got something to say to you and all the people that were on the draft for the Euros about that, by the way. You've got Bonucci and Chiellini. You've got Jorginho, Verratti, and Barella, who I think seem to be the starting trio in the midfield.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you've got Immobile out front. Isn't the best for Italy, but he is a very, very good striker. He's been doing it for years in Serie A, and I think he will come good. Hopefully not against England if we get to the final. But what I want to say, when I picked Chiellini for my centre back in the draft, yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's old, he's past it." I hope everyone is watching this, and I hope everybody's been watching Italy because him and Bonucci at the back. Who did I pick next to Chiellini? I need to go back and watch that video. I'm going to put it on Instagram. But him and Bonucci at the back have been the best defensive centre-back partnership at the tournament by a landslide. The way Italians defend is different. It's like they defend like their life depends on it. It's like they understand the dark arts of defending. And what you said about they're working as a unit, they're working after each other. Even if you just watch the national anthems of the teams and you had to pick the result just on an anthem, Italy win every single time. And I think maybe some people might think it's just a front. Maybe it's just we're pretending we're doing this because it's cool and it looks hard for the cameras. I don't think they are. I think that's just them together as a unit. The actual anthem itself invokes passion and power and strength and the mental ability to know that you're going to beat your opponent before you even get on the pitch. And I think although Belgium put up a good fight, they never really looked like they were going to win because of the quality that Italy have as a unit on the pitch.
Yeah, Belgium, De Bruyne was he was actually like man-marked, I'd say, that game. He didn't get too much space and he didn't do too much with the ball when he did have it. Lukaku was kind of isolated as far front. He didn't get too much service because, as you said, the way Italy defended, they just blocked off passing lanes, things like that. It was the only threat Belgium really had was through Jeremy Doku.
Yeah.
I think he's 20 years old.
Yeah. No, 19.
19, yeah. Not even 20.
Maybe 18. Let me just...
He's 19.
He plays for
Rennes.
Rennes. Yeah. He replaced Rafinha.
And he's 19. He was literally their danger man. And he was a very good player. He got past, what was his name? Di Lorenzo too many times. He was too fast for him. He was the one that won the penalty for Lukaku, which he slotted away. And that was the only threat that Belgium had.
Yeah. Speaking about the only threat that they had, he's Premier League ready.
Definitely. I can see him at Man United. Yes, Man United. We're going to always talk about Man U, but okay, I can see him at Arsenal. I can see him anywhere in the Prem because he's that good. Literally, the way he can just beat a man, pace, strength, and I feel like he can improve his shooting.
I don't know what that... You see when he had that shot when he cut in?
Yeah.
And just went over the bar. I don't know what that skill is called, so I don't know what to call it.
You mean like how he like moved his foot? Like
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how far it was? You saw like YouTube, you double tap the screen and it shows the replay 10 seconds back. I did that about 8 times. I was looking at his feet thinking, then I was thinking to myself, if I actually tried that, I don't know how it would work because the speed at which the feet moves. Yeah, I'd break my legs because it doesn't make sense to me. He's a wizard on the ball. Hazard obviously wasn't available, which is why he started. And in all honesty, I didn't see much difference.
Yeah,
I just didn't.
He was fast. He's even faster than Hazard. Strong.
Way faster.
So strong as well. And just if that shot went in, I'm pretty sure Premier League clubs would be signing him right now.
Yeah, no, trust me.
They have to sign him because he was very good. He was
I
very
mean,
good.
I typed in Jeremy Doku's name on Google, and I saw Bayern Munich.
I
So
mean, it's ready. Yeah, I'm not surprised because
yeah, 1 day ago, yesterday, Bayern Munich tracking Leo winger. Maybe he's on loan from me. I don't know. But they're tracking Jeremy Doku apparently, and
what?
Liverpool as well. Liverpool and Bayern Munich.
Guy is born in 2002.
Yeah,
You're making me feel old. That is
he is.
2002.
He's literally just turned 19 as well in May. At the back end of May, he turned 19. He is, as you said. Look. Oh my god! I'm just on thingy now. 1 day ago, here is why Liverpool signed Jeremy Doku.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
This is what 99 pace looks like in real life. He really advertised himself well. Unfortunately, obviously, Belgium didn't make it through, and I think that would be the most important thing that he's thinking about now. But he's not done himself any harm. He's only done himself favors with his performance there.
Yeah, definitely. And he also did for Borrelia. Borrelia was the one that got the first goal for Italy.
Yeah.
And yeah, Italy, Spain, semi-final. I said it early in the show. I need Spain to win because I'm confident England will win and progress to the final. But it's about who will I prefer England to play. I personally would prefer England to play Spain because I feel like we played them before, we've beaten them before. Italy, we haven't played in a long time. This Italy squad is very dangerous, and I feel like they will just exploit the way they pass the ball around. I feel like our midfield will get exploited, and then the defense, I don't know. Italy just seems too strong. So Spain can beat them. Pens, I don't know. Whatever means, just beat Italy, please.
I've spoken about Roberto Mancini being by far and away the best manager at the Euros, but Luis Enrique isn't bad. He's still a very, very good manager. So if we were to come up against Spain in the final, you're looking at a team that has a very good defense, I think. They have good individual defenders. Maybe not the best as a unit, but good individual defenders. You've got Busquets in the midfield, and you've got, I think, a world-class manager. I would be scared of Spain in the final. Honestly, I would be scared of Spain in the final.
Paul Torres Laporte. I'm not sure. Azpilicueta against Sterling. Jordi Alba, then Pedri, Busquets, and Koke.
I would be scared. They're in the final for a reason. If they get to the final, they've knocked out Italy. They're there for a reason. Any team, doesn't matter what team you come up against in the final of an international competition, you're there for a reason. Any team we come up against in the final, I'm not saying, oh yeah, we're definitely going to beat them. I'd be more confident against Spain, but I'd still be like,
yeah,
just let me not be too confident. Let me not get too carried away too quickly because they have a great manager and they still have very good players. In somewhat similar to England, they have a lot of young players, a lot of players just coming through or just very recently established, but they also have, I guess our Busquets would be Henderson. He's not playing, but they still have the old guy or just older than the rest. And I think it will be a very good match. But
that is actually true. The way Spain play, their midfield, yes, they're very similar players like Busquets, Koke, Pedri. They're quite similar players, but they know how to dominate midfield.
Yeah.
They know their positioning is perfect. They don't really drop in like, I say, Phillips does or Rice does into the defense to get the ball. They hold their positions within the midfield.
Yeah.
So that creates so much space. As soon as they receive it, they can receive it in the half turn and play forward. Whereas with England, literally playing it side to side, then Rice or Phillips will eventually drop back into the defense, collect the ball, and then move forward. That is so much longer than rather than holding your position in midfield and then collect the ball there and then turn and go to the attack. But with the Spanish midfield, they have the technical ability to do that because that's just the way they're trained to play. Whereas in England, I don't feel like they're trained specifically in that way.
But you know what it is about the comparing England to Spain, and which is one of the reasons why I'm going to talk about Maguire for a sec, which is why I think Harry Maguire is now being known as such an important player. Before Harry Maguire came in, when England passed it around the back, it literally is left back to centre back, centre back to centre back. centre back to right back, and it will probably go back across maybe a couple of times until someone else on the pitch thinks I need to go and get the ball. Maguire comes back in. Maguire gets the ball, pushes out with it. Whether or not Stones wants to push out as well, he pushes out with the ball, and then he commits one of the opposition midfielders. And what that does, Luke Shaw can push on, or Sterling or Harry Kane come in and get it. Now their midfielders out of position. Yes, Harry Maguire is still out of position, but the ball progression right there that we have when Maguire is in the squad is so much better than when he's not there, because he commits players, he drags someone out of their position. And I'm thinking, if we play against Spain, if we were against Spain in that final, Harry Maguire pushes out with the ball. Koke, because I think Koke is the one that plays on the right side of midfield.
Yeah, he does.
Busquets in the middle and Pedri on the left. Koke is going to come out. And now you have a space. Sterling can drop in. Now he can get the ball on the half turn. And then that's going to have to push back Busquets and Pedri. And if I'm thinking about it, Busquets is going to be the one that's going to have to think, oh, snap. Sterling has the ball on a half turn. I'm going to have to come across. And then that gives permission for one of the central midfielders that we have to push up as well, because now Busquets is out of position. If Pedri wants to cover Busquets, one of the other centre midfielders, maybe I think Declan Rice is on that side, is able to push forward. And that all starts from Maguire. Drags one player out of position, everyone's out of position, or no one goes out of position and Sterling has 10 yards of space around him. I think if we were to come up against Spain or Italy in that final, Harry Maguire is going to be
crucial,
one of the most important players in our team to either start stuff or keep things going for us. And yeah, that's all I have to say about him. Hello, Big Ron.
Yeah, Big Ron says United really missed Maguire at the end of last season, struggled to win matches without him. Yeah, his presence was felt when he wasn't there. That's a shame that we took so long to realize that how crucial a player he was. Same with England. England looked like a much better team with Maguire in the squad.
Yeah.
I saw in the game yesterday, just as we're talking about the midfield, like Declan Rice and Phillips, they're both coming towards the defense to get the ball.
Yeah.
And I saw Maguire, he kept telling them, move back, so that the space is there. Why is some of the players coming towards the ball? Stay back, create more space so that Maguire can play it to you when there's more space there. Or,
and
as he said, he would drive forward if that wasn't an option.
And that's when, and it goes back to my point of, that's why I think Bellingham or Henderson should start, because that's not their game. We need ball progression. Yeah, I would rather have 40% possession with ball progression than 70% if you're just passing it around the back. Because as you just said, Phillips and Rice, they're both defensive midfielders. They drop deep to get the ball. And then when they get the ball, there's 40 yards gap. There's a 40-yard gap because there's no one there. And so what they have to do then is pass it back because they're getting pressed, or pass it to the side because they're getting pressed. If you have someone like Henderson or Bellingham, not both, because that's not going to happen. Even though I want it to happen, it won't. If you have one of them, maybe Rice or Phillips can drop back, and then whoever's not playing, instead of Henderson or Bellingham, can keep occupying that space in the middle, because then there's not a massive gap. If you do want to progress the ball, then you could pass it to one of them. It's not the type of progression that I want to see, but it is still progression. But instead, we have two centre midfielders that drop all the way back, like holding hands with the centre backs. It almost restricts the defenders. It stops them from actually pushing up, which might be a reason why sometimes we play a bit deep, because we have a very deep lying midfield, which is maybe better for club football or seasonal football in terms of like the Premier League, but international knockout tournament, you have to be there on a day. You have to just win on that day. And that's why I think Henderson or Bellingham has to play.
I mean, as I said earlier, I don't really care who plays. I just know our team is strong enough to win. But let us know in the comments as well who you think is going to win. England, Denmark, that's on Wednesday night. And then Tuesday, first game is Italy, Spain.
But I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If we get to the final and we come up against Italy, like a very, very good midfield that are going to press you any second you get, would you rather have Henderson and Bellingham or Phillips and Rice? Would you rather get pressed in the opposition half or 10 yards outside of our box? Because if we come up against Italy or Spain, I personally would have Henderson or Bellingham in there, just so we're not like literally on the edge of our box trying to pass it out.
I'd play Henderson.
Yeah,
because Henderson he's always looking for a pass forward, always.
Yeah.
So I think Henderson in that role, Henderson alongside maybe a Rice would work, or Phillips. I don't think having both Bellingham and Henderson would start, but I feel like Bellingham could come on later. But Henderson definitely, just because he's always looking for the pass forward. He played that one ball in the second half yesterday, straight to Sancho, first time down the wing.
Who was that? Sorry,
Henderson. Like the ball's played into Henderson, first time round the corner, to Sancho. That's the kind of things that he's always looking forward to. Even to Sterling, he played the ball to Sterling first time, left wing. So he's always looking for that pass, and I think that's the good thing about Henderson.
Yeah, I think maybe in a couple of years, when Bellingham's maybe a more established member of the squad, he's going to be the one starting next to Declan Rice because, as I said, I just don't think you can have two midfielders that just do the same thing. But we're here now. We're in the semi-finals, playing against Denmark. As you said, on Wednesday, I believe. Is it on Wednesday? Kickoff is at 8? Is that 8?
Yeah, both games at 8. So one's Tuesday 8 p.m. and Wednesday 8 p.m.
I might be working again, so hopefully I'll be working where I can see a television. But I mean, I think it's coming home. You think it's coming home?
Of course, it's coming home. That's why I bought this shirt. This shirt is not good.
Get a refund if it doesn't come home.
It's actually coming home. I will get a refund if it's not coming home.
I think this is the best opportunity an England squad has had probably since before I was alive to win an international tournament. When we was at the World Cup, yeah, we did well, but in the back of my mind, even when we came up against a tough team in Croatia, I kind of knew. I was like, maybe we're not good enough. But now, this crop of players that we have, the attacking talent that we have at our disposal, even the players that aren't even in the squad sometimes, and the solidity of the back four, I think it's just equal success. If not this year,
There's
what's
still
next year?
World Cup. But
yeah, exactly.
This year we will win the we will win the Euros this year.
We have to win the Euros.
The World Cup next year.
Sure.
Putting it into existence.
Brazil exists. Come on.
Fred does not exist.
Yeah, he's starting in the cup. He's starting for Brazil.
Yeah, they're in the semi-finals actually.
Yeah.
We obviously we haven't covered the Copa 90, but I mean the Copa America. Copa America. Yeah.
Guys been watching too much YouTube.
But yeah, Fred he's doing well. But don't get it twisted. He's not the player. He's a bench player for Man U.
Perfect summer for me is England win the Euros and Argentina win the Copa America. I need Messi. I need that international title for Messi. But let's see if I get it.
He's not Ronaldo. Just forget it. He's not Ronaldo. Not everyone can win a trophy of their national team.
So when Messi wins it, yeah, what are you saying?
Say well done. About time. World.
Surely he would have won it at the same age as Ronaldo, though, or even younger. Nah, yeah, same age. He's 34 now. His birthday was like a few days ago.
And Ronaldo won it when it was 2016, 4 years ago, when he was 32. 5 years ago, so 31. I mean, there's levels to this game. That's all.
Never mind. Messi's still the greatest footballer of all time. The greatest player to ever.
There's levels to this game, and Ronaldo is just. What can I say? He's just there.
I hope you realize that when Ronaldo retires and Messi's still playing, he's gonna surpass him as the greatest goal scorer of all time.
You think Ronaldo's gonna retire with Messi still playing? There's no chance. Ronaldo plays till he's 45 if he has to.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past him because he's an animal. He's built different. Ronaldo is built different.
CR7's the GOAT. R9 was a good player, but CR7's the GOAT.
Messi is the GOAT. It's Messi. How do I comment? Wait.
Go to the comments part. But in all honesty, the they're both great players, and we just have to enjoy it. But CR7 is the goat.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll go around in circles, but yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Actually, no, we'll quickly go to the fantasy.
Oh yes. Who's bottom?
'Cause I know you guys who are watching right now, some of you guys are in the fantasy. And go to the league. I'll show you guys on the screen the league at the moment. So don't know if it's gonna focus.
Whoever that top guy is, I hope he doesn't claim his prize. Wait, Ains.
So this guy El Trolls, he is currently top of our league, 328 points.
He smoked everyone.
But second place is caught up, 224 points. So it's close, very close.
PK blinders.
If I scroll down,
Me and Ibs on the same points. That's weird.
yeah, Ains All Stars to 5th place.
5th.
Yeah,
Whew, all right. Let me look at his side.
and yeah, as you can see, I'm in 14th place. Anton's in 15th.
What?
I've got 210 points. Anton's got
What do you mean?
210 points also.
You're not in. This guy
No,
said I'm in 14th.
We're joint 15th. But I should be ahead of him in 15th because I got 67 points this round. And
Nah, we're good, man. Next round is gonna be different.
last place. Ooh. 126 points. That is...
Jesus Christ, man. Where's Darren? Darren's the one I watch.
Darren,
this in it. That's the boy.
Yeah, Rita's Pieces. 137 points.
Price of top 5. This is the price of top 5, man.
There is no prize for top 5.
That's the price of top 5. Who is this guy?
As if there's a prize for top 5.
I as I said, I'm the one buying this top. It's not coming out of Ibs' pocket because I didn't actually tell him before I said it. So I'm buying it. I'm hoping that the guy who wins just never comes back because he put this league in a spliff and
He actually did. We don't even know who he is. We actually really don't know who he is. The Sanch show is in 22nd place. Not too good.
He thought you did something there.
Let's see your team. You're so confident. You're actually so confident. 32 points.
Jesus.
You had Mbappe.
You still had Mbappe in the quarters.
You did not change your team.
Oh my! Oh,
wow.
I click on the semi-finals. Oh wait. Yeah, we haven't had the semi-finals yet. Never mind. My bad. My bad. I saw 6. I thought it was 6 points.
No.
I was like, what? Nah, man. I might come back and win the league. We never know.
I'm definitely coming back. I'm coming back because if I got 67 points, I'm actually coming back to win this league.
Ibs got 28 points in a round of 16, guys.
And I got 67 points this round.
This guy's a comedian.
So just know, I went from 25th place to 15th. So if you do the maths, that's
how many? We're 118 points behind.
Go from 10. So now I'm going to be 5th. Next round, I'll be 5th. And then after the final, I'll be even above first. I'll be playing World Cup football, World Cup fantasy. So,
guys, Ibs, you might need to go on Fabrizio Romano's Twitter right now.
What, Varane signed?
No, chill.
Because last time we were on here last week, Sancho signed. So I thought, okay, you're about to say that
Camavinga.
Oh, this
Manchester United are progressing in direct contact.
Football.
Motto.
What a guy.
Listen, Rennes would be open to negotiate on potential 30 million euro.
That's
fee,
22 million pounds.
As they'd lose Camavinga for free next year. He's one of Manchester United's long-term targets. PSG have always been interested too. However, what I will say, PSG are also trying to get Pogba. I'm going to see if I can... look, former Juventus sports director Fabio Paratici told Sky Sports, Paul Pogba back to Juventus? I think it's very difficult. Basically means it's not happening. And I know there was something else on Rafa Varane.
Yeah, Varane is agreed personal terms of Man United. That's what we
Yeah.
know. It's just the fee between Man United and Real Madrid. So
Yeah.
Varane is basically he's agreed to come to Man U. That's just the fee, and I think it's 50 million, maybe
The
around
league
50
is
million.
done. The league is
And
done.
Maguire and Varane, Sancho.
With Camavinga and Pogba in front of them. At this rate, I'll be real. I don't care if we keep Pogba for another year and lose him free next summer.
Yeah, it's calm.
I don't care. It
really doesn't matter. Camavinga is for the future. This guy is 18 years old.
Yeah, Agent Ferdy, he put on his Insta. Do you see what he put on his Insta story?
No,
Someone like replied to a you know, like on Instagram when you can ask me a question or something.
Yeah.
I think Ferdinand put that up, and someone said send a text message to Varane. Then Ferdinand said he did.
Yeah, I saw that.
But listen, what I will say, we finished talking about Euros now. This is all things football. So we're talking about all things football here, yeah. If we're able to get Sancho with Varane and Camavinga, it's a massive, massive coup because one, we've improved every position that we need to improve with efficiency. And what this also means for the long term is, I know Murtaugh was hired from within the club. He wasn't external. He was an internal appointment. But what I think this does is show us that maybe there is a bit of progression. I still want the Glazers out. Woodward's going, or he's already announced his resignation. But I still want the Glazers out. But what this does show us is that there's a change in our transfer policy because Sancho got done relatively quickly,
very quick
within this window. Obviously, it's a 2-year saga, but relatively quickly. Varane is progressing quickly. And if we're already negotiating with Camavinga after about a week and a half, what this shows me is that something's happening. The protest had that postponed Liverpool game, that the Glazers might have been laying back in their seat, but when they realized, oh my days, like the Liverpool match is being postponed, they sat up in their seats and thought, these fans are not messing around. All of these threats, empty threats that they thought they were giving us, these are real threats. They will do whatever they need to do to get the message across to us. We need to do something this summer. And I think these 3 signings, one, is going to improve us massively, and it's what we need. It's not just something to appease the fans. It's what we need. It should be the minimum, by the way. So they're not getting a pat on the back for that. But what I think they should get a round of applause for is actually doing it instead of just saying they're going to do it.
The action is amazing because
there
was apparently a meeting straight after the Europa League final loss, in which Oli was speaking to obviously the staff, and they had an action plan of what needs to be done. Obviously, Sancho was one of the first names on the list that needed to be acquired.
Yeah,
and now centre back alongside for Maguire to build a partnership, and obviously now we're seeing CDM.
Yeah,
so all this is into action, and the Glazers are doing it at the moment. So as Man United fans, we have to be happy because we've got the signings we want, or we're about to hopefully get the signings we want, and then maybe next season into the Haaland race, as Cavani will be going.
No. Greenwood stepping up.
You think so?
Yeah.
So you think Haaland's a Chelsea then, and then
I don't think we're getting Haaland.
Pogba potentially goes.
You know what? At the same time, what's it called? If I'm Pogba now, innit? I'm seeing Sancho come in. I'm seeing Varane come in. I'm seeing Camavinga come in. I'm thinking in my head, I know what goes on at this club because I play for the club. We, as fans, we think we know what goes on. But as a player, you definitely 100% know what goes on. He would have seen a change in the transfer policy. He would have seen a change in the upper echelons of the club.
The way the club runs.
All the promises that he would have been given. I know 5 years late and it's not good. It's very bad on our part. But at the same time, he's thinking, oh my, stuff is happening now. I'm playing with Bruno Fernandes. I'm playing with one of the best attacking midfielders in the world. Rashford's on the left, one of the best wingers in the world. Sancho, one of the best wingers in the world. Greenwood's coming through. We've already got Cavani. Varane, he's my French mate. He's with Maguire. That's one of the best defenses in the world.
Slabhead. I mean, what can go wrong?
He's
Joe
seeing
Biden,
something
Arnold,
built. He's seeing something built
AWB.
around him. Yeah, it's mad.
We need competition for AWB. Let's not forget.
I want Max Aarons. I don't want Trippier. I want Max Aarons. Give Max Aarons or keep Dallo, and you have competition for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That's what I think should be done. But we can't get too excited.
PSG is such a lucrative offer. Like, he can easily be swayed by going to PSG.
What?
Back in Paris, France, Mbappe, Neymar, Sergio Ramos, Donnarumma.
Ramos signed.
Well, potentially. Rumored to signed. Who else? Actually, that PSG squad, their main target. He knows he's going to win the league at PSG. That's
What
guaranteed.
should do.
And then he knows their main target is Champions League. So that's the thing. PSG is a very, very good offer, and he can help them to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
So no need for Aarons when we have Ethan Laird.
Good right back. He needs to go out alone. Maybe a couple of years.
Yeah,
maybe
you can't have him to challenge Wan-Bissaka because he's always gonna. There's no point in that.
Yeah.
Trippier doesn't block his path. Yeah, Max Aarons is a good choice.
I think it'll be an interesting summer. As long as we get those 3 players, obviously got Sancho. Obviously got Sancho already. As long as we get Varane, Camavinga. If we don't get anybody else this summer, I will be happy.
It's great that we are getting these signings, but Man City are also going to strengthen their team. Jack Grealish, Harry Kane. That is such a deadly. If they get those 2 players, it's all over. Jack Grealish, even just Jack Grealish by himself to go to City, or Kane. It's just if Kane goes to City, just know that the league is gone.
Nah, man, we got Sancho Fernandez. We're good. We're good. All we have to do is beat every other team.
That's true. Sancho,
we have to beat every other team.
Sancho, we beat Man City twice last season anyway. But I still feel like Ollie wants Kane. If we get Kane and Varane, do you think that's possible?
It depends how much the Glazers want to appease the fans.
Because I don't.
At the end of the day,
do you think Kane would actually stay this season if
at Tottenham?
Yeah. Or do you think it's definitely
probably?
going?
Yeah, I think he'll probably stay. If
no
one buys him, what is he going to just not play for anyone? He has to stay. Like,
no, it's such a waste.
I don't think Kane is going to force
playing Europa Conference League. Imagine you're Harry Kane. You just won the Euros, and now you're back.
Yes,
Europa Conference League. Nah, he has to get out of that club. He can't do that to himself. He can't tarnish his name like that. How old is he? 27.
Yeah, I think so.
He
does deserve Champions League football.
He is Champions League. He can't be playing.
He's going to get the Golden Boot at the Euros, by the way.
Yeah, you can't be playing Conference League. It's not fair.
Son will. I'll take Son.
Son will, but he doesn't. I don't feel like Son is the type of player to rebel against Spurs and like force his way out. That's the problem.
Nah. Maybe we should do a transfer show one day.
Yeah, I think at the end of the Euros, can easily do it.
100.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, semi-finals: Spain, Italy, and Denmark versus England at home, Wembley Stadium, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. It's coming home. Let me just play this to end the show and enjoy.